You are right up my street.
Oh, you can't make me choose.
I go by Toyota. Sponsors T4.
Fuck me, Lee Ryan's 13.
Marlene.
I remember we couldn't remember the word for table.
This is Your Welcome America, the podcast that explains what the bloody hell Brits are banging on about.
In every episode, we translate British pop culture for America.
And American pop culture for Britain.
Yo, welcome.
Hi, babes.
Hi. How are you?
I am just fine and dandy.
We've both had a week.
Yeah, it's been a strange... I was saying to you, I'm not sure if it's kind of like a malaise that's kind of taken over, but...
February malaise.
Yeah, it's been... We're really reaching like a... just a point of real... Anyway, look, we want to have fun and not get down in the dumps, so yeah.
In the dumps.
We've both been in a mood this week.
I'm in a mood, a right stinker.
But I'll tell you what cheered me up today is that I went for a hike at Runyon.
Okay, the outdoors cheered you up.
And COVID's over.
Look, I feel like this is your second report from Runyon in 6 months, and it was over last time as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it's actually over even more. It's only over if you're a buff white person.
Got it? Were they all just snogging?
Yeah, just like buff and white and maskless, and last time I said there was mask pageantry going on. This time I wasn't even seeing it flapping from an ear or a wrist. I was just seeing people just fully just out living their life.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any great looks? I've got to ask, anyone playing music out loud as they hiked?
Yep, multiple people were playing music out loud, and yeah, I saw some some sights. There was one man he was really, I think he maybe does do porn or gay porn, but it was...
Or he should.
He should. He was very hot. That was about it.
What would the porno, what a word. What would the porn movie on Runyon Canyon be called?
I'll run in your canyon.
Sure. Done and done.
How are you? What's
I'm
going
okay.
on?
So you can't tell right now, but I have started Invisalign.
Oh.
I've started my Invisalign journey. I don't have them in right now because I took them out for the podcast. Now, I don't know if you know this, but you're meant to wear... I didn't know this before I invested in my Invisalign journey. You're meant to wear like these gum shields 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So like all the time. And you can only drink water when you've got them in. I eat and drink so much. It's
a lot of shifting around, isn't it? A lot of in and out.
There's a lot of just like getting out the sloppy gum shields and putting them in that tray. The tray, which is the wrong shape for the gum shield. So every time I try and squeeze them, I'm pissed off. So that's what's going on with me. I'm also just going to go through a couple of things I've watched this weekend. I watched the Britney documentary from New York Times.
I'm doing that tonight.
Yeah.
I've been putting it off because I know it's like hard.
Exactly.
So I'm kind of just been like, I don't know if I can handle it in my mental state, but I'm going to do it.
It is, it's pretty legit.
Mm.
We get to hear from Fee, her assistant, who I have met. Felicia. So that was very exciting because I felt like I was part of it. Also, last night I watched the Wendy Williams documentary.
The Lifetime movie?
Yeah. Well, no, because on Lifetime, there's the documentary about her, and then there's the movie.
Okay.
I watched the documentary.
Oh, because I want to watch the movie.
Well, the documentary, much like Wendy Williams as a being, as a human force, the narrative is all over the place.
Perfect.
And it makes no sense. Like,
perfect.
There were so many moments I'd be like, I don't know what's going on. She's sitting there and she's lying back and she's getting some she has a medical issue and she's getting a treatment on her leg in her house, holding a wine glass of what looks like apple juice from concentrate. And she's crying and she'll say things like, well, he sent me flowers every day. Then I've got to tell you about the time I was almost murdered. Wait a minute, you listening? You should. How would you feel? Cut to break. It's like,
perfect.
So, yeah, that's been that.
That sounds great. Well, I've got a little something.
Uh-oh.
I've had another package arrive at my house. So I've got a few little things to give you, to share with you.
Okay.
So just rustle in this John's bag.
Not Vons.
John's.
Now, what's the difference between John's and Vons? cousins, brothers,
They're,
enemies.
they're not. Yeah, it's actually. I think they took over from Von's location, so they just changed the letter. I think I made that up. So this is from listener and my friend Lydia. So she just sent over. Basically, there appears to be a worldwide Worcestershire sauce crisp shortage. And I heard this also from my mum, who was looking to. She's sending me some stuff, and she said she can't find them anywhere. And apparently, it's an actual thing.
But why? Oh my God, Brexit.
Probably.
Potato farmers?
Well, I don't know, because unless Worcestershire has also remained in the EU, the county of Worcestershire.
That was actually part of the Brexit withdrawal deal.
Yeah.
And that was the sticking point.
Yeah.
Never forget about the hard border. That was the real trouble.
So I won't read the rest of it because it gives away what's in here. But yes, this is from her.
Wait,
So-
you didn't mention the fact that she sent over a note and a lovely Valentine's card.
Yeah, she did send me a Valentine's card.
That's very sweet.
my one and only Valentine that I'm gonna get.
Okay, and this is all from Lydia.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lydia.
Yeah, it came in 2 boxes. It was so exciting. Okay.
Russell, should I close my eyes? How would you like me to receive this?
I'm just gonna present you with one thing at a time.
Oh my fucking God, Frazzles. Frazzles are not something I've had for a while. They are a bacon flavor corn snack. Always, it'd be like when I was a kid, if my dad had been to golf and we would, wait, how would this work? He would go pick us up from somewhere and he'd been to the golf and he'd been to like the bar at the clubhouse.
Right.
And he would always bring us back like a snack from the bar at the clubhouse. Pack of Frazzles.
Well, I'll
if
tell
not
you-
Frazzles, Scampy Fries.
Oh no, I was gonna say the other thing that always accompanies a frazzle is a goddamn chipstick.
Oh, fucking hell.
Now,
Chipsticks.
now you do not know pleasure until your mouth is burnt from eating well, I've done it where I've combined bags of chipsticks because they're quite small. So they're kind of salt and vinegar or like a maize stick.
Yeah, and as a kid, you might pretend to smoke one like a cigarette.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Also, I love how this is that old school packaging that doesn't have like the foil inside.
Yeah.
Now, do you know what you can do with this packaging?
What's that?
Right, once you've eaten, in fact, we should do this.
Oh, I know what you're gonna
Okay,
say.
so once we've eaten these, we'll rinse it out and then we'll put it in a baking tray.
Yeah.
Baking tray, which is called a cookie tray in this country.
Oh, is it?
At work, no one knew what I
Sheet
was talking about.
sheet pan?
Cooking.
I've heard
cookie
sheet pan thrown around as well. Get out a
Sure.
sheet pan.
Sheet pan. You shove it in the oven, you bake it, and then you get like a miniature
Like
version.
shrinky dinks, is that what they were called?
Were they?
There was those things you could get, those shrinkums.
I'm excited about these. This is. Oh.
Yeah.
Monster Munch pickled onion flavor. Love.
Yeah, this is great.
Absolutely love
Now,
pickled
let me
onion.
tell you, I had a revelation because when Lydia sent me these, I don't think she knows that I've actually never eaten a pickled onion Monster Munch before because as a child, I thought I didn't like the flavor. And then as an adult, I just never considered it as a flavor. And I was just suddenly, it hit me because she sent me some, I had some as well. And I was like, I've never had this before.
Did
So
you eat one?
yeah. What the fuck was I thinking? It's like when I was younger and thought I didn't like cheese. Madness. It's so good.
The flavor of a pickled onion crisp is very. It's like salt and vinegar, but with like a remix.
yeah. Okay.
Oh my god, this is the bag keeps on going.
Yeah, what else have I got in here?
Ooh,
for you?
imagine putting these all together in one bowl.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be fun.
Okay, so that's the savory course.
Ah, okay. Now we've got a wagon wheel as part of the mix.
She did point out, I don't know why I sent you wagon wheels because I don't think you like them.
Wagon wheels are a funny one. We definitely went through a craze in our household of buying them. I'm not sure I actually like them or not.
Wagon wheel were toasty.
Also, wasn't there a very Western cowboy themed advert? And like a
Yes.
song, a Wagon Wheels song?
I think so.
Yeah.
Little pack of love hearts because it's Valentine's Day. I
that's
think they have
nice.
them here, don't they? Don't they call them sweethearts?
Maybe.
don't know.
I've told you my Valentine's Day business at school with these, have I not?
No.
So I was managing director of a young enterprise company. We won the regional prize. Thank you so much.
Any listeners just know that I fully crossed my eyes and pulled a face there.
So for the winter months, we did jewelry, whatever, fine. But for Valentine's Day in our school, you could order to get delivered to your Valentine a helium-shaped heart balloon that had ribbon on it. Do you want to know what the weight was at the end? Pack of love hearts.
Lovely.
Imagine getting that delivered in maths class.
Well, let me tell you a story that's
Okay.
not so great. We had...
What? Wait, I just want to pause you. I was the fucking managing director of this very successful company, thank you. Did anyone send me one? No.
Of course not. We had a Valentine's, like a newsletter. It was basically the thing. Honestly, it was one of the worst ideas. I think it must have completely stopped after we did it. Where basically you could pay like 20p, maybe. It was like 20p to put a message onto this kind of newsletter. And it was like, write your Valentine's messages. So you could do them anonymously, or you could do like a...
Oh, no.
So people who were like boyfriends and girlfriends did it, yada, yada, yada.
Uh-oh.
Someone did a fake one to me to like mock me, basically. There was like from these people, they brought down me and another girl by putting a fake Valentine's message in from like her to me. And it was meant to be like mocking the fact that me and her would never be together or have anyone.
Who do you know who did it?
No, I still don't know.
To this day.
Nope.
That's like the user on MSN Messenger who was nicknamed Slow, and on MSN Messenger when we were teenagers added us all as friends and then would go on to all our chats and just give us like truths, serve us up truths.
Wow, like Gossip Girl.
Yeah. Never found out who that was. Oh my.
I saved the best for last.
Fraser has just I don't know if you heard that roll around on the table. That's a Cadbury's cream egg.
Oh,
love a Cadbury's cream
so
egg.
good.
What an absolute treat. Lydia,
know.
thank you so much.
Thanks,
Please,
Lydia.
anyone else, send us some swag. Also, this has made me excited for Easter again, because we need to just get Easter eggs and eat them.
Yes.
That's the whole plan for Easter. Get Easter eggs and eat them.
Eat them. Yeah, perfect.
Again, Easter eggs, not a thing here.
No, and then I was about to say we can watch an Easter movie. What's that? Passion of the Christ?
There is no Easter-themed movie that I can think of.
No. Something about
Eggs?
rabbits? Watership Down?
What a shit.
So we'll watch Watership Down, then Passion of the Christ. Perfect.
Roll on Easter. Shall we do some feedback?
Yes.
Okay, we have a lot of feedback going on today. Before we get into it, we just want to, as ever, give a shout out to you listeners and say thank you so much for getting in touch. We love hearing from you so much. As you're about to witness, we read out pretty much all the messages. Just as ever, we should tell you that this show and every episode, we've got an American topic, an UK topic. We discuss, dissect. We're going to get into it in a bit. But as ever, our topics are so meaty and juicy that you always have a lot to say about them. So Fraser, feedback-wise, what you got going on, babes?
Well, speaking of meat, I have some feedback from my mother, Ari In and Out.
Oh, okay.
So hold on. This is a voice note from my mum.
You'll be pleased to know that I do not want to visit In and Out. I don't like burgers and I hate sad-looking soggy chips.
But I think thank you so much for that. But the point is we like In and Out. So we're fine if you want to go there.
She came in already angry about
She did. And also the chips aren't soggy, and that's kind of part of the problem. They're too dry.
Very funny.
Just on the subject of In and Out, Megan and Salt Lake got in touch because we were obviously talking about In and Out being a very West Coast thing. And she sent me an article from Utah, from a Utah website. And the headline is, "Cutting in line at In-N-Out drive-thru leads to assault with hatchet."
Oh, shit.
So it turns out that lines are big In-N-Outs all over, including Utah. And it was, I read this in very intense article. Someone had a hatchet, and also police said they were able to locate the truck that was involved at a nearby Costco parking lot. So it really ticked all the boxes. Thank you for that.
Jesus. I mean, people are really desperate for those burgers and soggy chips.
Overly dry chips.
Those dry chips. So we have an email.
Okay. If people want to send us an email,
it's You're Welcome America podcast @gmail.com, and You're Welcome is UR, not YOUR. We've had an email from Cecily Landfeld. I think that's how you pronounce her name. And this is actually really about the Girls Aloud episodes, but because we record all of them in advance, we can't do any feedback on them. So we're going to talk about it now.
and we just finished Girls Aloud, haven't we? So
Yeah.
we've got a new. But don't worry, babes out there. We've got something new coming at some point.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so Cecily says, "Hi, I've been a listener of the show for about a year now. I can't even remember how I found the podcast, but I'm glad I did." I've been really enjoying your recent episodes of Girls Aloud series Off the Record. I'm American, and though I do love British pop culture, and then she put in brackets, translation parentheses, I know you guys aren't fans of Kate Bush, but she is my absolute favourite artist. And she says, I was only vaguely familiar with Girls Aloud. As far as I knew, they weren't even brought over here to the US. So she said that us doing recapping Off the Record made her more curious about Girls Aloud. So she started looking into their whole lot of history. Love it. Mm-hmm. And she said, I knew of Cheryl's solo career and wasn't really impressed, to be honest. So she then went on to say that her favourite has to be Nicola, not just because she's a pale redhead like me. She said she's been listening to her one album on Amazon Music and she cannot get enough. She says, I can't believe her album wasn't more popular. So she's basically like discovering Nicola's solo album for the first time. So she said, so thank you for exposing this curious American to more great music. Nicola has been a great discovery for me this year, and I'm working my way through her discography album by album. But I'm currently majorly obsessed with Cinderella's Eyes. Thanks for all you can do, and I can't wait for the next episode, Cecily.
Thanks for listening, Cecily.
L-O-V-E. Dance to the beat of my drum. Dance to the beat of my drum.
Oh.
I really liked the follow-up song that came out after Beat of My Heart. Was it called Lucky Day?
Lucky Day, yeah.
She really loses control in Lucky Day. It's like, wow, wow, wow. It's really, there's a lot going on in it, but I love that. Thanks, Cecily.
I'm glad we're just introducing the world to Nicola. She is a joy. We have had the Instagram account Me Against the Podcast get in touch, and they said, I love your pod. It's an amazing concept, and I love your present series. It's a highlight. That must be Girls Aloud. Thank you. I'm just listening to your Kylie episode. I'm not really a fan.
Oh.
But I love Chocolate, one of my favorite songs.
Is this my friend Leah secretly writing in? Her favorite Kylie song is Chocolate.
How does anyone like the song Chocolate? So, well, thank you for getting in touch. Oh, they also said, P.S. you should start a Patreon for all the long versions, fan demanded, if you will. I'd love to hear them too.
Jesus. I don't think people... I'm not sure people would...
be you.
People would be venturing behind the paywall to hear the rest of our bullshit.
We've had Nicole in LA get in touch. We'd been talking about the Body Shop, and she said, the Body Shop is very much a thing in the US as well. My local mall growing up had both a Body Shop and a Bath and Body Works, and the Body Shop was significantly nicer, of course.
Well, yes.
Loved that store as a teen.
I mean, my tirade against Bath and Body Works. Yeah. I hate that place.
Yeah.
Haunted.
Although, we all loved that one shower gel we once bought and all shared. I think it was called like Malibu Sunrise or something. Yeah. Malibu Heat.
Malibu Heat.
Discontinued.
Oh, really?
We've had Justin get in touch on Instagram as well. Oh my God, he went for it in this feedback.
I read this one. This is a dissertation.
So after our Dunkin' Donuts episode, okay. I'm going to have to just do highlights, but Justin, we read every word. So he is a native Bostonian, so he was beyond excited that we did an episode on Dunkin'. He has all the inside access as his father worked at Dunkin' HQ for almost 20 years. Do you think that's just one giant donut?
Oh, I was... Yes. One donut building and then like a coffee cup building next door.
Oh, beautiful. As for the rumours of Dunkin' Corporate HQ sharing Ben Affleck's order, he cannot confirm or deny this. However, one of the reasons Bostonians love Dunkin' so much is that if you go to one often enough, the employees begin to remember your order. I was like, well, yeah, that's most places. But then he said, and when they see you, they'll start on your order before you even get to the counter.
Ooh.
And since Ben Affleck probably only goes to a handful of Dunkins in both Boston and LA, then it's entirely plausible the owners of those shops know the order and instruct their employees to memorize it. He also said, as for the UK equivalent of Dunkin', I have to agree with Ben. Good. The UK equivalent of Dunkin' Donuts is definitely Greg's. Dunkin' and Greg's focus more on takeaway. That's takeout for our US listeners, whereas Costa has more of a cafe vibe. Also, just as East Coasters love their Dunkin' and will have withdrawal symptoms if they don't have it, I feel like when Northerners move to London, they have to find their nearest Greg's and get a sausage roll to feel at home. Hannah D on Facebook got in touch, and she is happily feeding back to the podcast that Julian McDonald's Funky Briefs are currently on sale at Sports Direct. Also available in tiger print and bold geometric shapes.
Ooh.
So I think these are like male briefs. Yes, they are.
Like underwear briefs or swimming.
Underwear briefs.
Ooh.
They're pretty fun. They've got like a zebra pattern. They are $4.99 for a 2-pack.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Great price point.
Great price. He knows what he's doing, Julian. Talking of other platforms, Springham and Discord.
Ooh.
Shout out to our Discord community. Sent us a picture of Liz Hurley with an In-N-Out Photoshop beside her. Loved that.
Yeah, that was great.
It was very good. It took me ages. I was like, this is just a regular high-quality picture. What am I looking at? She's got a snack. Oh, it's In-N-Out. And finally, Niall in London sent us a screenshot of the titles of Queer as Folk. And it says, directed by Sarah Harding. Turns out she's a dino doctor.
Yep.
She's an aughts/noughties pop star. And she directs.
Wow. I mean, that all makes sense. You can do all three of those careers. You can balance all of that.
Sure. Her LinkedIn must be a mess.
Yeah.
Do get in touch on our Instagram, You're Welcome America. You can email us, do whatever you want. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
We love that. We haven't had one for a while. Right, shall we get into it?
Yeah.
And we are back. Okay. In every episode, you know this by now, but we take a UK pop culture topic, we discuss, dissect, work out the US equivalent. Then we take a US pop culture topic, we do exactly the same. Babes, you're up first on this very special day. It is Sunday, February 7th, 2020.
Yep.
2021 even. What's going on? What's your topic?
It's a big old day in America.
Big old day.
It is the Super Bowl.
Cool.
First of all, I'm gonna start right off the bat with a little test. Ben, can you tell me what two teams are playing in the Super Bowl today?
The Buccaneers.
From?
Oh, fuck. They're, oh my God. They're from, are they from Florida?
Yes.
Are they like a specific place in Florida?
Yes.
Are they the Orlando Buccaneers?
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay, that was it. I knew it was somewhere trashy.
And who are they playing?
Oh, no clue.
The Kansas City Chiefs. Worried about that chief word.
I'm nervous about,
Yeah, very worried about what their mascot is.
What's your topic, babes?
So I'm going to be talking about Super Bowl halftime shows.
Thank God, because the actual Super
You thought I was
Bowl...
going to... I was like, okay, so I'm going to talk about the Super Bowl. But I do think, just for the sake of making it as clear as possible, just the Super Bowl is basically... Now, I'm going to try and do this from just what I think it is. And what I did look it up. This is basically the NFL league, the National Football League.
Yeah.
The top two teams play each other. This is like the final. This is basically the X Factor final.
This is the X Factor final.
This is the X Factor final.
They've been competing all year. They've done their
Exactly.
auditions. They've whittled it down.
They've done boot camp.
Yeah,
Exactly.
judges'
They did judges'
houses.
houses. They've done Halloween week.
Yeah.
The yada yada and
Big Band Week.
Big Band Week. And now we've got down to X Factor final at Wembley Stadium.
Got it.
Between these two teams.
Just two teams.
Yes.
Got it. Got it. And just like the X Factor final, you've always got some big name performers.
Yes.
Haven't you?
Exactly. So the Super Bowl started in the 60s.
Okay.
And from the 60s up until 1990, the halftime show would feature university marching bands from a lot of the cities that they play in, because basically the Super Bowl is always in a different place because of
Yeah.
team that's one of the teams.
Dunno.
How do they decide which place is the home team?
I don't
and
know.
the
'cause
away
that,
team.
That seems like an unfair advantage.
Yeah, it does.
Where is it this year? It's in Atlanta? It is. I think it's in
Yes.
Atlanta, which is neither team.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, we don't know.
I'm not going to look that up.
No.
But basically, yeah, it always used to be kind of marching bands and drill teams, and they would it was like performance ensembles. It was always very much like a family, like variety kind of act of, it was never a big name.
Right. It was kind of in keeping with what you might get when you go to a sports game.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I don't really know what a drill team is. Do you know what a drill team is?
I always thought the drill team was, in quotation marks, the more acceptable thing to do if you were a man compared to cheerleading.
Right.
And I don't think there are pom-poms and they just like throw each other around.
Okay.
That was my understanding of it.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
That's okay.
So I just need to, at this point, I need to come out of the closet about something. I have like a confession that I need to make to you, and I'm embarrassed about it. Mm-hmm. I don't understand Roman numerals.
Oh, okay. Okay. Roman numerals are hard. Do you want to know how I know them?
How?
FFV11, Final Fantasy VII, the computer game from the 90s. So every time I see a Roman numeral, I think
You can-
V,
you-
I
that's
work
your-
it, yeah. So V11 is 7, so V
Okay.
is 5.
Right.
And then I just work it
that's the
around
two.
those.
That's actually very useful, and I think I'm going to try and remember that because I cannot read Roman numerals, and I completely understand all of the stuff behind it, but as soon as I see it, it's gone from my head.
That's fine.
Also, I would never get like Roman numerals tattooed on my body.
Well, the only thing that I can understand are hieroglyphics because of my heritage.
Precisely. And I look Egyptian, so that's what I can read
Got
too.
it.
So, luckily, this Wikipedia thing that I'm looking at puts the date on because I've lost track of which Super Bowl numbers we're at. But basically, 1990 was the final time that it was just marching bands performing because in 1991,
Yep.
we had New Kids on the Block with the first pop act to perform at the Super Bowl.
NKOTB.
Yes. So they actually performed with... So this one was produced by Disney and sponsored by Disney and Coca-Cola. So basically, they did... Instead of doing like just a New Kids on the Block halftime show, they performed It's a Small World After All with like children and Disney characters. And then New Kids on the Block only did 2 songs. And then they had to also perform with children. So that was actually, they were the first one. Because I thought that the year after, 1992, was when Gloria Estefan performed. And in my head, she was the first kind of pop act, but it was New Kids on the Block.
Okay, well, I don't want to bring up this person because
He's coming later.
Okay, he's coming later. Fine.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, the brother of Janet Jackson.
Yes.
Was
The Voldemort.
was the big first one.
Yeah.
But that's not correct.
So, well, I mean, I think it's the one that globally,
Got it.
like we would remember from being from another country.
And I think it pushed the production value and everything to
well, there's
the next level.
there's a whole thing about getting paid and money and all that stuff that came along with him. He who shall not be named.
Okay.
So Gloria Estefan, she according to this, she also performed alongside Olympic figure skaters.
like in Dancing on Ice.
Yeah, exactly.
When you go, you promo your latest single on Dancing on Ice, and you've got them all skating around you.
Exactly. And in the set list for this, conga is not included in it.
Oh.
How can you have Gloria Estefan perform and not have her do conga?
When did Conga come out though?
I think it must have come out afterwards. Come on, everybody, let me do that conga. No, it doesn't any longer.
Would it have "Get on your feet, baby, baby, come on and make it happen"?
No.
Oh my god! Because imagine shouting to the giant like, "Come on, everyone, get on your feet."
And the
Everyone
conga-
up.
So He Who Must Not Be Named, that was 1993.
Okay.
That Michael Jackson performed.
It's a really good performance.
Yeah. And he basically, it was in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena.
Oh, not
And
far.
He performed, it was Billie Jean, Black or White, We Are the World, and Heal the World.
Oh, fuck off.
But basically, that was the first time that the halftime performance attracted significantly higher TV ratings. This is like the spike that made them truly became like a thing after he did it.
Okay, cool.
Just special shout out to 1995 because the theme was Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Forbidden Eye, and the performers were Patti. According to this list, there's a long list of performers, but amongst the list is Patti LaBelle, Tony Bennett, and Indiana Jones.
Oh, the actual Indiana Jones.
Yeah, so actual Indiana Jones came in, but I just like the idea of Tony Bennett crooning and Patti LaBelle singing, and then just Indiana Jones just uncovering some artifacts in the at the Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida.
How baffling, because Indiana Jones, none of the movies came out that year. That's very confusing. Do you think if we had the Super Bowl in the UK circa 1999, 2000, the ABBA tribute would have been done?
100%.
That would have been really good.
So then there was kind of a variety of themes in the rest of the 90s. I won't go through all of them, but there was like Gloria Estefan came back again with Stevie Wonder. There was a Motown theme, very important one, which a Blues Brothers one. No, thank you. Who cares? Actual like Dan Aykroyd and like John Goodman and James Belushi were like performing. I was like, what is that? So stupid, so straight. Anyway, 1996.
Okay.
Diana Ross.
Oh yeah, I've seen this one.
Yeah, I've seen this one.
This is good.
So many, like the set list is Stop in the Name of Love, You Keep Me Hanging On, Baby Love, You Can't Hurry Love, Why Do Fools Fall in Love, Chain Reaction, Ain't No Mountain High Enough, I Will Survive, and Take Me Higher. I mean, what a like, What like a wild. I also really like that year was sponsored by Oscar Mayer, which is the hot dog company. Now I can confirm Diana Ross did not come out riding a giant hot dog that year.
But didn't she leave the stage in a helicopter?
She did.
That's how the performance ends. I feel like, talking of hot dogs, you're really cooking, getting to like the main meats.
yeah,
the bit we're excited about.
Exactly.
Now, for full transparency,
Yeah.
we essentially prepped for this episode during the holidays.
We did.
Was it New Year's Eve?
Yes, it was New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, we sat and watched all the most recent halftime shows
Yeah.
and dissected them and decided to put them in order.
We ranked them,
We
didn't we?
ranked them, yeah.
Opening this out made me blew my mind basically because there's loads of things I forgot about and loads of things that didn't make it as far as the UK. So now we're going to get into the important era, which is the year 2000.
Okay, good.
So the theme for this one was Tapestry of Nations. I'm worried. Produced by Disney, and this one was performers Phil Collins, Christina Aguilera, Enrique Iglesias, and Tony Braxton, and an 80-person choir. I mean, that's pretty good.
What did Christina sing? Mi Reflejo?
No, I didn't understand this. Apparently, her and Enrique sang a song called "Celebrate the Future Hand in Hand." I don't recognize any single song in this list.
Okay.
Which is weird because we're so used to Super Bowl performances now being like a mini set list of the
hits.
artist, whereas it's like Tony Braxton didn't sing "He Wasn't Man Enough for Me," and Christina's not out there singing. I'm trying to think about what came out in 2000.
It was beautiful out then. No, not yet.
No, not yet. So she would have had to do Genie in a Bottle. Maybe that's.
Love Genie in a Bottle, though.
No, I like it, but I'm just thinking maybe it's not got enough gravitas for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, what a girl wants. I turn to you.
What a girl wants. The Baroque breakdown. No, I know. She could have done that and come out in a nice Victorian number.
Imagine a full-blown version of Coming Over, complete with the dance break.
With the bit where they all held the things over their heads. Okay, 2001.
Okay.
This was Aerosmith's year, but Aerosmith, fine. I feel like a little more, even though we don't like men performing, I feel a little bit more fond of Aerosmith because I feel like Steve Tyler's like an old woman. This was a great year because it was NSYNC, Britney, Mary J. Blige, and Nelly all came out and did like different things with Aerosmith, and I think that's a pretty good. NSYNC did Bye Bye Bye, Aerosmith did Want to Miss a Thing, It's Gonna Be Me, NSYNC, and then Walk This Way was all of them together. That's pretty solid.
So did Britney not get a moment?
No, she was like a surprise to come out during Walk This Way.
Oh, and she was wearing that really great football kind of outfit.
Yeah. 2004. This is where things took a dark, dark turn.
Oh, no, is it my girl?
So basically, theme of this year was Choose or Lose, which I didn't realize was the theme.
That sounds like... What?
Headliners, Jessica Simpson, Janet Jackson, P. Diddy, Nelly, Kid Rock, and Justin Timberlake.
Choose or Lose sounds like a season where they've spiced up Survivor.
Yeah.
Survivor season 28.
Yeah.
Choose or lose.
Or like a dating, like Rock of Love, Choose or Lose. So, Choose or Lose, produced by MTV, this one, sponsored by AOL, that made me laugh. Really clinging on in 2004. This has got some like wild kind of set lists. All For You, Janet Jackson. Bad Boy for Life, P. Diddy, that's a fun song. Hot in Her by Nelly. A couple of songs by Kid Rock, who cares? Janet did Rhythm Nation. Then they finished the set list with Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake duetting on Rock Your Body. I have seen the breast picture so much that I had forgotten that they were doing Rock Your Body. I want to rock your body. I mean, I'm very haunted by the first Justin Timberlake, by the Justified album. I feel like it was, everyone in the world had that album and it was just kind of, like Rock Your Body makes my, like, goes up my spine and makes my skin crawl, that song.
But even back then, I didn't enjoy Rock Your Body.
No, it was the worst one of the lot. Yeah. I loved the first song from Justified.
Like I Love You.
Yeah.
And I liked Senorita.
Ding, ding.
Something about you.
And do you remember that song at the end of the album that went, hop in the car, go with me. Anyway, so what happened at the Super Bowl is, everyone knows it, there's a moment that there was a wardrobe malfunction, which that term really became popularized at this moment, where Janet Jackson's breast was exposed, and apparently Justin Timberlake accidentally exposed it. Now, there was discussion of, was it pre-planned, was it premeditated?
It was so...
Of course it was. She was wearing a nipple jewel. It was a beautiful moment. And then basically, America lost their damn mind.
It's so confusing to go back as a mega Janet fan and try and work out what actually happened. because he pulls off the top of her outfit and just one bejeweled breast teat is revealed, and she like looks shocked and looks down, but it kind of looks like she's acting.
Yeah.
So I don't understand what was meant to happen, or was that meant to happen?
Yeah.
I just don't understand. I'm so confused.
I tell you what, in the pantheon of one boob kind of pop culture moments, do you remember when, was it Diana Ross that jiggled Little Kim's boob when she was wearing that seashell on her boob at the MTV Awards?
The purple look.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
That's really, like, it's a moment that I'll never forget. Little Kim, yeah, I think it is Diana Ross, and they're all standing at the podium presenting, and she's just like looks at Little Kim's tit, and she's like, ooh, and just like gives it a little jiggle. Like, puritanical America lost their damn mind. And then because of that, the subsequent Super Bowls for most of the early 2000s were, they said they were family friendly, and they would use traditional rock acts.
Fuck that. I want to pause you 1 second. Do you know something that came out of that wardrobe malfunction, other than the phrase wardrobe malfunction,
Right.
which was not a phrase before that Super Bowl? Apparently, so many people were Googling to try and find the clip that it gave them the idea for YouTube/YouTube, and that's how YouTube was created. What? Yeah, I think that's what created YouTube.
Whoa.
Yeah. Also, just as a mega Janet fan, because of that, she was banned from I think it was from all CBS or all Viacom or something. So her subsequent albums all tanked, and she went into like a career decline, all because of that movement, because everyone decided to were just angry with her.
But not with Justin Timberlake.
Not with Justin, because he's a white man, a straight white man. Oh my God, I really... later years, Justin performed at the Super Bowl. How dare he not bring Janet out and let her do a cameo and, in quotation marks, rectify the situation? Not that the situation needed solving.
I mean, how funny would it have been if she'd like ripped his top off?
Oh my God, that's really good.
Oh,
and
like
he was
wearing a jewel nipple. Exactly. How funny would that have been? But he doesn't have a sense of humor, so he wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
So we had some real tough years afterwards, and tough from people who like fun pop music fronted by females, not, straight people, because it's like Paul McCartney and the Rolling Stones. I mean, Prince, that's a great year in 2007. Prince is a good one.
Yeah.
But then, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Bruce Springsteen, The Who, yada, yada, trudge, boring, straight. And we get to 2011. A little group called the Black Eyed Peas. Have you watched their year? Oh, it's very funny. It's very kind of like just, it's a real Black Eyed Peas production in the way where it's like, I don't love the Black Eyed Peas, but I do appreciate what they do in terms of, performance and allowing Fergie to wail and do her strange performances. It's got a fun set list as well. So they did I Got a Feeling Fine, Boom Boom Pow, Sweet Child of Mine with Slash from the ACDC. Oh, hang on. Is it ACDC that does Sweet Child of Mine?
I don't know.
Whatever. Slash from whatever doing Sweet Child of Mine. Let's Get It Started. OMG with Usher and Will.i.am. Where Is the Love? And then The Time, Dirty Bit. That song with the I Got a Feeling reprise.
Need to reprise. I think that is the perfect example of what it then became, where you have representation from all styles of music.
Yes, exactly.
And all different kind of races and heritages going on. I think that's... I don't want to watch that, but I approve.
Yeah. And actually, I kind of now think of that in my head. Weirdly, actually, that year, 2011, is the beginning of what we know the Super Bowl halftime show as now completely. Mm-hmm. Because the year after was Madonna, 2012.
Yeah. Now, we rewatched this. Madonna featuring LMFAO.
Yes.
I don't think it's great, unfortunately.
It's not as great as we thought. Your husband, Jesse, was pumped when we put it on, and then he was really trying to hype it up for us, and you and I were like, this is fine.
It's a shame because Madonna could do a phenomenal one, but it was like she was just marking all her spots around the stage. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't great.
Yeah. Although it was my time to admit to you and Jesse that I listened to the Party Rock Anthem by LMFAO when I'm working out still.
Shake that.
So yeah, so she was kind of the big, like, I feel like that was the shift in 2012 was it was like, oh, we're going to have gay people care about this.
Yeah,
We're gonna have like gays and like the women that love them
Yes.
are gonna care
It's
from
like,
this point.
The straight guys have the football. They're covered.
Yeah.
They're always gonna come, no matter what. They're gonna be here. We need to just reel in the rest.
Yeah. So the Madonna one was the huge one. Then 2013 was Beyonce, which is, you know, goes down in history basically.
It's a good performance because it's Beyonce. It's
Yeah.
obviously phenomenal. But in terms of production and everything, more recent years have eclipsed it, I would say.
Yes, I think so. But it still was a big, because this is when this is like the kind of Love on Top. Is this that album era, wasn't it?
She was in between albums.
Yeah.
She weirdly didn't have anything
this is
released.
pre-Drunken Love, isn't it?
Yeah, it was before
Yeah.
Beyonce and all that.
Yeah.
So it was just, she was in a weird in-between stage.
Yeah, but it felt like she had a good like selection to choose from
Oh,
at that
yeah.
point.
Oh, yeah.
And I love, you know, again, we said this when we watched it the other day, love that she performs Baby Boy.
I love that.
I love that
Beyonce-
she loves that song.
She always performs "Baby Boy," and I love how that could be completely forgotten, but no, she always does it.
It's like how Britney always performs Breathe on Me. It's like, because she loves it so much. It's like people who don't like Britney do not know the song Breathe on Me. When I saw her perform in Brighton, there was a lot of like girls being like, what's happening? Breathe on me. Bruno Mars.
But the Bruno Mars year, I'm not a fan of Bruno Mars, but wasn't it Bruno Mars, Coldplay, and Beyonce the next year?
No.
Oh, was it just Bruno Mars?
Just Bruno Mars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Bruno Mars just by himself, and then so we can ignore that one. And then Katy Perry was 2015. Now we ended up, just spoiler alert, we ended up ranking this one number one.
Now, here are our reasons, people.
Yeah.
We realized that this was a performance that was made for both everyone in the stadium,
Yeah.
but also made for TV at home.
Yes.
If you were in the stadium or watching TV, you were getting a show and you were getting all angles. I think I'm not the hugest Katy Perry fan anymore. Teenage Dreams times I was obsessed with her. But this is such a good performance. She comes in a giant tiger. She has songs for everyone. Her
Yep.
guest stars are Lenny Kravitz, who is gorgeous, also a person of color, and a very different style of music. Then you've got Missy Elliott.
yeah.
So I think as a white woman performing, she was like, I need to cover a lot more bases
Yeah.
here. She did a great job.
Yeah. Remember she did I Kissed a Girl with Lenny Kravitz. That's a cool... Oh, and then I feel like we talked about Lenny Kravitz for like a really long time, didn't we? We were like,
Lenny
like,
Kravitz.
I just remember saying to you, I was like, I think Lenny Kravitz might be one of the sexiest people to walk on this earth.
Yeah.
Remember when his penis was so strong that it just like emerged from it just busted through his trousers?
His
in that
leather,
performance?
he was wearing like leather pants.
A leather trouser, and his strong penis just emerged.
Wasn't
from
it bejeweled? I think it was, like Janet.
Probably.
So we realized that this performance is utterly fantastic.
Yeah.
And it ends, okay, the song Firework, not my favorite song, but I respect it. And the fact that she had this big performance, and at the end, she is flying around the stadium
Yeah.
singing Firework, and fireworks are going off. That is perfect
Yeah.
for this event.
So yeah, so you know,
So good.
spoiler, we're gonna say Katy Perry's number one. And actually, yeah, you're right. The year after was when it was Beyonce, Bruno Mars, Mark Ronson, and Coldplay. Note how I put Coldplay at the end, even though they were the headliners, because I
yeah.
care about them the least. And even though Coldplay, I can't get into how much I dislike Coldplay and every single song they've ever done.
But big fan of Gwyneth Paltrow.
Big fan of Gwyneth Paltrow, exactly. Yeah. And yeah, they did a really good... It was just a really good... They were also very good at kind of realizing that other performers made that show something for everyone. Because
Yes.
I still to this day haven't watched any of Coldplay performing, but... And then this is a real thing. The fact that Beyonce and Bruno Mars did two such annoying songs from their catalog, but also did them in a way that was like amazing. Because like Crazy in Love, let's just say it is
The Toxic.
it's the toxic of Beyonce's catalog, and Uptown Funk is one of the most annoying songs ever made. But them two doing those songs like mashed up together, they did it like a kind of a versus thing, and it was phenomenal.
Like a question and answer thing.
It was amazing. Like Bruno Mars, I don't like him, but he's really good. He's one of those people where it's like, listen, I get that people like him, and I also think he's great. I just don't sit around and listen to Bruno Mars albums, but he's like a really good performer. Anyway, then this is when the gay world exploded. In 2017 was Lady Gaga.
How do you feel about this performance?
I think it's great. Like, I still think I think it might be second down after the Katy Perry one.
I'm disagreeing in that. I think it's a good performance. I love when she jumps off the top. I don't think, in the way that Katy Perry's had a really good narrative and story and flow, this was just a bit stop and starting all
Right.
over the place. Also, I don't think Bad Romance is the best Gaga song that everyone seems to think it is. It's very like clunky and middle of the road. So I think she finished on that. It's very, you know, I think you need to either end in a huge swelling ballad like Firework or in an absolute stonker. So I didn't love this.
No, I don't think some of the songs were. I think the song choices wasn't as strong as the other ones, but it was such a moment.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's what makes it higher up on my list. It's just like it was a moment. The only other significant thing was obviously we discussed it last year was J-Lo and Shakira.
This
fantastic.
That's my number 2.
Yeah, no, you're right. That is number 2 actually, because we rewatched that, didn't we? And we were like, this is fantastic.
It's so
Yeah.
good. I do not appreciate her kids playing the drums and singing Born in the USA. So we just scrap that section. Go get a drink during that. But everything else in that is really good. The ode to Hustlers, which is in the top of that. Oh my God. So we need to talk about who's performing this year.
Oh yeah, the Weeknd.
The Weeknd.
The Weeknd.
I'm fine with it. It's obviously not my chosen.
Yeah.
But I don't think he has any guest stars, maybe because of COVID, actually.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure really what is even happening.
Any dream Super Bowl performers that haven't performed as of yet?
See, that's so tough because I have like alternate universe versions where it's like I would love, you know, Britney to do it, but I want it to be Britney from like a certain era, but I want her to have all of her songs now, so that doesn't really exist.
I'm going to throw some names out there. They're not necessarily faves. I do think Celine Dion could be part of it.
Yep.
She's French Canadian, so I think she needs to be balanced out with some actual Americans.
Oh, so actually, I tell you what they should do is just fully copy and paste like a VH1 Divas, like a Divas year.
Oh, that's
fun.
fun.
A Divas year would be absolutely, because then you could have, you know, you could have Mariah, Celine, you know, Gloria Estefan can come back. We can have all the Divas, you know, from Divas Live, Patti LaBelle, like, but then also have, you know, sprinkle in your Arianas and your J Huds, and that would be really good.
Actually, Mariah and Ariana and a couple of other people, that could be a good year.
Yeah, Mariah, Ariana, and then like sprinkle in J Hud, and then like a Patti LaBelle or someone like that to kind of bring it all together for like one final song. So basically VH1 Divas. Just talking around and around the fact that we want VH1 Divas to be back on television.
I do want Janet to get a chance again.
Yeah.
And to really just, I don't know, even if it's just, as we said, during the Justin Timberlake year, if she could come out and just do one bit. Rihanna.
Oh my God, yes.
Wasn't Rihanna approached a couple of years ago, but it was the absolute height of Colin Kaepernick and kneeling. And so she refused.
Yeah.
But Rihanna...
Oh, Rihanna's really good. And she'd be able to really pull in some good people as well, because people would be so desperate to work with her.
And it wouldn't be safe.
No.
You know what I mean? There'd be some real
Do
stuff.
you think Britney would come
going
out and do the
S&M
the
remix.
S&M remix?
Oh my God, that's perfect.
Oh my God, speaking of Britney and S&M and SMS, did I tell you I only... In 2021, I had the realization that in the song SMS Bangers with Miley Cyrus and Britney Spears, that SMS stands for strutting my stuff.
No, I didn't know that.
I always thought it was like a text message, SMS message. Because she's like, I'll be strutting my stuff. It's strut my stuff. Bangers.
Oh, I thought it was texting.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Miley and Dolly should do it.
Yes.
Has Dolly done anything?
I don't think so. I couldn't see her name on the list.
Miley and Dolly together
Yeah.
would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, everyone, just get in touch with us. We've got some ideas.
So
real quick, I feel like I was trying to be smart and come up with some things for the UK equivalent, and I do think that we don't have a like in football, like soccer football, you know, they have like the FA Cup final. They have those big, and even like the World Cup, we have big sports matches that get a lot of viewing figures, but there is no entertainment as a part of it. Mm-hmm. So really, the only thing that I can think about is, you know what I'm going to say.
Are we going back to 2012?
We're going to go back to 2012 to the closing ceremony of the Olympics and the Spice Girls riding out on those fucking taxis.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is the only thing in recent history that we've had that's the big sports stadium spectacle, you know, representation of a country rather than a city. But it really is the best thing to sit alongside it.
I was going to, in my head, I was starting with the Royal Variety Show.
Yeah.
And the Jubilee.
Yeah.
Jubilee performances.
Yeah.
But I 100% agree that the UK equivalent of the Super Bowl halftime show is the London 2012 Olympics closing ceremony.
Yeah, it is. It's like, you know, we'd all love to live in a world where, you know, that performance was happening at the, you know, an FA Cup final, so we had something to watch. But until the UK, until the Football Association, until FIFA, is that something? Or was that just the computer game? I don't know. Until one of those people, until Mr. Football decides to make football more entertaining for people who aren't just straight and boring, then, you know, that's what we've got.
Side note, we discussed it at Christmas. Kylie doing a halftime show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
So good.
Shout out to her Sydney Olympics performance.
All my lovers. All my quarterback lovers in the audience.
All my sporty lovers. Yes.
Also, I love Pepsi. Download AOL and drink some Pepsi. It's Kylie.
Have an Oscar Mayer wiener.
God bless America. I love hot dogs. All the lovers.
So
yes, the UK equivalent of the Super Bowl halftime show is the 2012 Olympics closing ceremony. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
And we are back, and Ben has our British topic today. What are you saying, babes? What are you flapping about?
Well, as ever, we have been watching Drag Race UK Season 2. Shout out to Drag Race Recap, the podcast where we recap every
Oh my
UK
God.
episode.
We scream at each other for like 2 hours.
I know. So, a certain icon appeared this week. We've talked about Elizabeth Hurley the other week.
I know, they're giving us all the inspo, aren't they?
They really are. I am going to be talking about my kindred spirit, my Snatch Game inspo. LK today, it's Lorraine Kelly.
Oh, I can feel a tartan fleecy blanket wrapping around my shoulders.
Dead
And I
cozy,
feel
get
dead
you a wee
cozy.
flask of soup. I'm just going to play my theme music. We're going to count us in. Here we go.
Sounds like a Clean Bandit song.
It is a bit Clean Bandit. It looks like it got updated in 2018, so
Do you think maybe Clean Bandits had a hand in this? We're gonna hear Jess Glynn come out any second.
definitely hear some strings, some funky strings. I'm just going to fade it down, and into the studio we go. Hello, welcome to Lorraine. It's 9 a.m. on a weekday morning. Lorraine Kelly. Who is she? Let me tell you. She is Lorraine Kelly, CBE. She's obviously got a little medal from the Queen. She is a Scottish actress,
Excuse me?
television presenter, interviewer, and journalist.
Yes.
So, Lorraine Kelly is Scottish, and she, in the UK, hosts her own show called Lorraine every weekday morn on ITV. That's 3. And
3 on your clicker.
3 on your click on your bleep. She has been with us a very long time, doing essentially the same job since 1984, it would appear. So let me take you back to...
Year of my birth.
Year of your birth. So let me take you back to her early years. She was born in 1959 in the Gorbals in Glasgow.
Excuse me?
Okay. So the Gorbals area of Glasgow was traditionally a very, it was an inner city area beside all the shipbuilding. And it was it's where a lot of like the tenement buildings were. And then they were all demolished in like the 60s and 70s. And they built high-rise buildings that they thought were going to be the future. But they were all badly built and they've all been disaster. So it's been redeveloped again. So the Gorbals is a less affluent part of Glasgow.
It sounds like a group of bad guys from a cartoon.
The Gorbals.
The Gorbals are coming.
The Gorbals are coming. Let me tell you something about the Gorbals. So in geography class in school, we were learning about like the CBD, Central Business District, and like inner city redevelopment because we lived in Glasgow.
Right.
So we went on like a field trip to the Gorbals. So can you imagine a crowd of private school kids in their uniforms, blazers, their little pull-up socks,
You're wearing a little boater.
pretty much, in like the school van that has like the crest of the school, like going to the middle of the Gorbals, and all of us getting out and being like, oh, and then essentially just looking at the place and gawking. How inappropriate is that?
Sounds, yeah. They were like, look, children, poor people.
It was like, oh, there's so many crisp packets in the ground. Should we get back in the van? Let's go home. Horrific. Anyway, that's where she was born. She moved to East Kilbride, another part of Scotland, and she turned down a university place to study English and Russian.
Oh, wow.
To go work at her local newspaper in East Kilbride back in the day. Then, this is really... The sentence I'm about to say to you is really just going to tickle our fancy. In 1983, she joined BBC Scotland as a researcher.
Oh, I bet she did.
Can you explain to our audience what a researcher in TV might do?
So it's the position up from runner. So it's the first job up from when you first start out in TV. And you basically, God, what do you do as a researcher? You just have to do everyone's kind of grunt work, basically. But it's when you're a runner, you physically do everyone's grunt work and run around. When you're the researcher, you do everyone's kind of written grunt work.
That's a very good way. You're not picking up lunches and getting coffees and going out to get, or you might go out to get props, but researcher is, yeah, you're doing all the stuff. I love the name researcher. It sounds so like academic.
Yeah, it conjures up like filing through old books and going through that, like microfiche in like an old movie where you have to look at old newspapers. I'm just going to research in the microfiche room. I'll be back.
When in reality, it's like writing a brief on Alexandra Burke and maybe like going to Argos to work out what props you're going to use for studio that week.
Yeah, precisely.
So that's what she did in 1983. Then, crucially, in 1984, she joined TVAM as a host and presenter. TVAM was a morning TV show. Now, here's the thing. From this point onwards, Lorraine's career has essentially been identical up until now. I did a quick Google image search of Lorraine Kelly, TVAM, because there are some looks. I'm just going to, in the Rock America studio, just going to swivel around the laptop and show you some of these looks. We've got this up here.
Gorgeous.
We're sitting in a wicker chair. This, I feel, is very iconic 80s Lorraine.
Yeah, that little, what is a plaid? Oh, one with the glasses is quite something. Go up.
This one here. She's got giant glasses on, a blouse. It's a very, very specific look she had back in the day. Sort of glasses, because she's been a researcher, so she's intelligent.
And remember, this is a reference. I feel like she was the reference for. Do you remember that amazing, iconic episode of Ab Fab where Patsy goes on morning television and Dawn French is the host?
Yes.
She's got those big glasses on. She has that exact same hair. That's the one where Patsy goes, where she can't speak, and then the only thing she says is, "Can I? Yeah, cheers, thanks a lot. Yeah, cheers, thanks a lot." And at the end, she goes,
"Can I just say something?"
Yes.
You can never have enough hats, gloves, and shoes.
So in the 80s in TVAM, Lorraine had her short brunette bob. She maybe had some chunky jewellery. She might wear some glasses. And as you said, like a plaid, although tartan. A tartan little kind of, I don't know, what would you call that?
It's like a power suit.
Power suit with maybe some big gold buttons. So that was her, and that was essentially her career up all the way through the 90s. In the 90s, she was part of the original lineup and incarnation of GMTV.
Right.
Very important.
Good Morning Television.
Good Morning Television. And then she ended up getting her own show, which
Yeah.
had various different names. I always think of it as LK Today, Lorraine Kelly Today. Now it's just called Lorraine, as I said, 9 a.m. Lorraine. Every 9 a.m. every weekday morning.
Yes.
It's a magazine morning show. She'll interview people. It's very cozy, isn't it?
Yeah, so from up until very recently, the lineup was always that you would have whatever, GMTV, which is the, whatever it's called now, Good Morning Britain, is like the 6 a.m. until 9 o'clock. Then Lorraine, 9 till 9:25. Then it used to be Jeremy Kyle at 9:25 until 10:30.
So Lorraine was only 9 to 9:25?
Yeah. It's really
25
short.
minutes.
Yeah, it's really short. I'm pretty sure.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
No matter who she's interviewing, whether it's someone who's been involved in, I don't know, a fire, or it might be someone who's releasing a solo single, the tone's always the same with Lorraine.
Yeah.
She's always very, very pleased to see them. She's dead positive. She's dead cozy. She always, you look great. And we were watching just before we came on air, the top 10 most awkward moments with Lorraine. We realized that none of the moments are awkward because no matter what happens, Lorraine can deal with it on live TV.
She's the definition of a consummate professional.
Yeah. So the things we watched happen, all the lights went out in the studio and she's just like, oh, do you think you can fix that light bulb? Then like
Nick Knowles.
With Nick Knowles, her phone went off and she made some sort of gag about it and then just turned it off. And yeah, she got someone's name wrong. She's like, oh, that's a wee shame. So sorry about that. How should I be saying it? She can get away with anything. Now, in recent years, she's become somewhat of a gay icon. I know this was in 2015. I think it was an Attitude magazine or maybe the Gay Times. She was voted as a gay icon.
Yeah.
Why do you think this is?
She feels like an ally. And that's because, you know, I recently watched an interview where she interviewed Eddie Izzard. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And Eddie kind of broke down at the end and was kind of like, you've always been such a supporter of me. And it was just like a beautiful, they both cried and it was just lovely. And I feel like that, I know that obviously that's only just happened, but I feel like she's glamorous in a way that's, you know, not crazy. Like she's glamorous and lovely. I can't put my finger on why she's a gay icon.
Do you know what? She's glamorous and lovely. She's supportive, but also she's got a little bit of edge to her.
Yeah.
So we watched a moment where someone's being interviewed and on another show and she's been satellited in or whatever. And she essentially says, what's the point in you coming to the show if you're not going to answer any questions? So like, even though she's lovely, she's got a backbone to her.
Yeah, definitely. And she's also kind of like you feel like whether you have any evidence of this or not, you feel like you could split a bottle of wine with Lorraine and have like a good old time.
Yeah, absolutely. I also found the 5 surprising facts about Lorraine Kelly.
Okay.
They're not that surprising. She's not going to do reality TV. Fine. She wouldn't call herself bubbly. She's actually quite shy. A lot of people think that if I was at a party, I'd be life and soap. I'm quite quiet. My husband's the outgoing one. When he walks in, you think, okay, we can have fun now. That's Lorraine. Be careful of labeling her national treasure. She's just not into it. And she just thinks that it should be reserved for other people. Humble. Her worst ever interviewee was Bruce Willis.
I think that tracks across the board.
Yeah.
She definitely, I think the other thing that makes her a gay icon is she feels like everyone's super fun aunt.
Yes.
Like she feels like the aunt that would come over and have a drink but also have like a finger on the pulse of like what is cool and fun, but isn't sad, and it's not a sad, desperate person. It's like she just happens to be in the know about stuff. And do you know what I mean? Like she's the kind of, she'd like be a fun aunt that would come over and like mention something about Grindr in front of everyone and be the only person you'd be the only people that would get the joke. She's that kind of gal.
Also, the fact that she's now done 2 seasons of Drag Race as a guest judge, I think says a lot.
Yeah.
Like she gets it. When she goes on, you know, she puts a wee sparkle in her eye and wears a sparkly, glitzy, spangly dress, but she's not trying too hard.
No.
She's still being exactly herself.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. Have you ever experienced Lorraine Kelly?
I never have. Never met her.
I've met her once.
Okay.
By accident.
Oh.
Or as an American might say,
On
accident. That doesn't make sense.
Where did you meet her?
Met her in the lift, translation elevator, at the London studios.
Oh God, those fucking lifts.
So
hell.
I was just in the lift and I either got in and she was already there, or she got in and it was just me and her, and we exchanged a word. I cannot remember what we said, but I do remember it was cozy and lovely. It was something like, oh, it's, you know when you're in a lift, you have to touch the button, you don't know where you're going. What am I like? Hello. Just exactly that.
A classic Lorraine interaction.
Yeah.
I once had a very quiet and awkward lift ride in that studio with Torval and Dean. Just me, Torval and Dean in a lift together, and I was like, ooh, this is weird.
Her kind of look and vibe and style, we said she's essentially been doing the same job since 1984. And now in the 80s, she had more of those structured suits and things, but she's kind of looked just identical this whole time. And her style is very what I would describe as Per Una from Marks and Spencer's.
Yes, it's very
just
Per
like
Una.
a lovely top from Per Una, and if she's going out at night or if she's going to go do drag race, she'll get like a spangly one from Per Una.
Yes.
And that's her done. She's just constantly just very, very solid.
She is very Marks and Spencer's, actually, Lorraine, isn't she? It's the same. They're in the same category, like hand in hand. Like, imagine being served, like, going over to Lorraine's and her serving you like a Marks and Spencer's like food platter. That just feels right, doesn't it?
Exactly.
She'd be like, oh, I just went to M&S. Let's just pop some bits out.
And it's like, while M&S food is on the more expensive scale, she can afford that. She'll buy it, but she'll wear Marks and Spencer's clothes, which
Yes.
is cheaper and more affordable.
Yeah.
So that balances her out and makes her very accessible.
Yeah, she really should just be the face of M&S.
She should.
Like, just exclusively the food, everything.
M&S and LK Today. She should just do it from Marks and Spencer's, her whole show. So for quite a while, she lived in Dundee.
Yeah.
And she would commute every day from Dundee to London to do her show. Now, that is a distance of 480 miles one way. So she would travel essentially 1,000 miles every day round trip to go to work. I just want to put that into context. 480 miles is even further than going from like LA to San Francisco. So imagine if
crazy.
every day I went to San Francisco for work and then came back. No.
I just want to know. I want to know the logistics of that day, because she must have had it down to such like a regimen. I want to know,
Wait a
like,
minute, let's work this out. Okay, so she's on air at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay. So she needs to get there at, say, what time do you think? Now, bearing in mind, hair and makeup, she's probably got down to a T. She probably works on the plane.
So what do you think her call time is? Maybe 7?
I think it's 7.
I think it's 7.
Okay, wait a minute.
2 hours feels like the right amount of time of hair and makeup and prep.
Okay, so I think if she needs to be at the studio for 7, she's probably getting like the first flight, which is maybe, I don't know, 5:30 a.m.
And is that to London City? Because it's going to have to be London City Airport.
It's going to have to be to London City, LCY.
Yeah,
my
to get
fave.
from London City Airport, because even then, just to get in traffic from London City Airport to London Studios is quite. It's not a short distance.
All to say, that's quite a commute that she's got going on, isn't it? Oh, but thankfully she moved closer.
Okay.
So her heart's still in Dundee, but she's now down in London.
Okay. Fair
so
enough.
I was trying to work out who the US equivalent of Lorraine Kelly is.
Yeah.
Now, my mind first went to Kelly Ripa.
Yep.
Because staple on TV.
Mm-hmm.
She's fun. She's very American, and I guess in the way that Lorraine's very Scottish.
Yeah.
They've both got a backbone to them, so I was kind of okay with that. But then I thought she's a bit more legendary and beloved than Kelly Ripa, so I thought Judge Judy.
Oh.
How do you feel about that?
I actually was thinking, this is too much, but I was thinking Oprah.
Oh.
Because Oprah's the most famous woman on television here.
And she's talk
And
show.
has
She's
been
been
to-
around
has
forever.
been around for a bit.
She's a legend. Oh my God, I think you might be right.
Yeah, and I know it kind of seems like it's like Lorraine only does a 25-minute show, but she's you know, she gets if the most famous person comes to London and is interviewed on a morning show, it'll be on her show.
Oh my God. You've solved it. And as we always say, the US equivalent's always like a bit bigger.
Yeah,
and a
more,
bit
like more money and like it all kind of gets crazy and much bigger. But yeah.
Okay, well, we worked it out, everyone. The US equivalent of Lorraine Kelly is Oprah. You're welcome.
And we are back. So as ever, we're going to finish the episode with a quick game of Welcome Not Welcome, which is where we mention very American or British things and we say if they are welcome or not welcome, aka whether we like them or not. You can go first.
Welcome or not welcome, Barocca.
Oh my God, I haven't had a Barocca for... They have them here. Obviously, we have an effervescent vitamin C droplet here.
Exactly.
But
The US
Barocca's a real term, isn't it?
The US equivalent are those vitamin C little packets.
Oh, What do they call
Emergency. So Barocca is the classic. If you're back in the day, if you're working in the office and you're like, I don't feel so good, I'll have a Barocca. I've always got a tube.
A bright green tube of Barocca.
Barocca in your desk.
Oh, do you know what? I'm going to say welcome because it kind of reminds me of working in TV back in London. It feels very kind of be like, we'll have a Barocca. We'll have a big night. I'll have a Barocca. That'll set me right. Have a nice orange wee afterwards as well.
Yeah, it was very in your early to mid 20s if you're going out a lot, but you're still working and you're a researcher. Yeah. You should have that Barocca. I'm going to say not welcome simply because I don't think they ever had any effect.
No, because you wee it all out, don't you? It's like because they. Well, no, and I think it's the thing of like you it's taking too much of something, so you wee most of it out.
Oh, okay.
Flooding your system with so much vitamin C, you just. I'm going to say it again, weird out.
Okay, not welcome.
Okay, welcome or not welcome. The word snazzy. This was used in a group WhatsApp chain that I'm in, and someone described something as snazzy, and I said, I'm going to use that.
What did they refer to as snazzy? Can you give an example?
We were having a discussion about kettles and different kettles, and my friend sent this German kettle that's very like high end. And my friend Nina said, "Oh, that's very snazzy, isn't it?"
Snazzy.
And I was like, "We have to." I said, "Snazzy's a great word. I'm going to have to talk about it."
So snazzy, it's similar to fancy, but it's less snobby than fancy. So snazzy is like all the bells and whistles.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be expensive. You might have a snazzy shirt on.
Yes.
And a snazzy shirt doesn't have to be expensive, but it could just be very colourful. That's a snazzy shirt.
Snazzy is also a word that goes into our 90s mum kind of lexicon. And 90s mums would always describe something as snazzy.
Oh my God.
A snazzy shirt.
Well, he's got a snazzy shirt on for the disco. Well, I tell you what, Trish was saying, she bought little Mark a new school bag. It was very snazzy.
One of those record bags. Really snazzy record
snazzy
bag.
record bag. Welcome. 100% welcome.
Definitely.
Okay. Welcome or not welcome. Chutes and ladders versus snakes and ladders. So to clarify... In the US, the game is called Chutes and Ladders, and in the UK, it's called Snakes and Ladders, which is welcome, which is not welcome.
Well, let me tell you a little story.
Okay.
When I was younger, we used to go on holiday to the Isle of Wight because my grandparents are from Southampton, and the Isle of Wight is like a short ferry ride away from Southampton, so we would go there on like trips.
Never been.
They had this children's theme park, and it wasn't really a theme park. It was because it was kind of just like, you know, like a hedge maze and shit like that. They had this one thing, and it was built into the side of a wall, and it was life-sized snakes and ladders.
Okay.
So basically, but it was literally chutes and ladders. So like you would stand, they had like, it was all built with like wood into the side of a hill, and you would have a spinner at certain points, and it would tell you how many steps to move on. And you would either reach it wasn't a ladder, it was more like a set of steps, and you'd go up to the next one. But if you got the chute, there were slides that went all the way back down to the bottom.
Because when we say chute, we mean like a slide.
A slide, exactly.
Yeah.
But it was so amazing because it was these like built, like the slides were built into this hillside, so they were like buried. So you'd like slide through the hill to get, it was so good. It was one of those magical parts of my childhood. So
that doesn't answer the question.
Well, I think it does because it actually means that it does make more sense that it's chutes and ladders because you're either climbing a ladder or falling down a chute.
Yeah.
Whereas the snakes and ladders, you're sliding down a snake's back, which doesn't make any sense at all.
Do you think it's something colonial?
Probably.
It must be.
Probably. It's probably some like Maharaja, some racist thing about going to India or something and snakes and yeah. Probably.
Okay, so we're saying that chutes and ladders is welcome,
Yes.
snakes and ladders not welcome. Got
Yeah.
it. Okay, good.
Okay, this next one comes from Laura York, from my mum. Mm-hmm. She had a lot of things. She sent me just a stream of consciousness of just things and asked us to discuss them. Pickled eggs, welcome or not welcome?
I love pickled things. I love eggs. I'm going to say welcome. I don't want to get one from a jar in a pub. That scares me. How do you feel?
Oh, it's not welcome. We're in hell already. Like the thought of I can't take extreme flavors. A pickled egg is honestly makes me want to throw up.
Yeah.
Oh, and texture-wise, a pickled egg is... Should you explain to an American what a pickled egg is? They have them, right?
I think so. It's just an egg that's been pickled, so it's just been like in...
Vinegar.
Yeah.
A vinegary egg.
A vinegary egg.
I feel really sick.
Aren't you like allergic to egg whites?
Oh, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
It's a recent discovery that I have an intolerance to egg whites. Almonds and egg whites.
Almonds and egg
God.
whites.
Since I cut them out my list, it's so good. It's not true. I had eggs like yesterday because I like them too much to stop eating them. Anyway,
Okay.
not welcome. Just another one from Laura. Another one from her stream of consciousness in the middle of the night. Bubble and squeak.
So bubble and squeak, is that mashed potato and gravy and with onions and then sausages? Is that bubble and squeak?
No, that's bangers and mash.
Oh, wait a minute. What's bubble and squeak?
You just like answered the whole thing. So bubble and squeak is, let me just make sure I get it completely right. So bubble and squeak is it's meant to be leftovers from like a Sunday roast.
Okay.
So it's potatoes and cabbage with the two main ingredients mixed together and fried. And then other people have like adapted it and added in like beef and some other vegetables that you've had with your Sunday roast. But it's potato and cabbage fried.
I think that sounds good.
My mum loved making us bubble and squeak, and it's basically like a big, thick, potatoey like omelette. Really good.
I would love it as part of something else. Like I need other things going on. I basically need some veg. I need like some protein, but I love it. Part of it.
Thinking about it now, I would love my mum's bubble and squeak, which is, shout out to my mum. She's a terrible cook, but she would make really good, like unhealthy food was her forte. So I just remember, really thick bubble and squeak was all potatoey, but like thick and fried on the outside. I'd just squeeze ketchup on it.
Oh, some ketchup and bubble and squeak.
Oh my God, I'm so hungry. We have to get lunch after this. I'm so hungry.
Let's wrap this up.
I've got a headache.
Thank you so much for listening, everyone. We're going to go gorge our Frazzles chipsticks, wagon wheels a go-go for the Super Bowl. Really bringing cultures together there.
Oh, yeah.
Please get in touch on Instagram, email us, do all those things, rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. We would love some more reviews on Apple Podcasts.
I tell you what I would like people to send us as well is their ideal versions of a UK Super Bowl performance. So if we had the Super Bowl in the UK, who would they like to see performing for it? I'd like to hear that back.
Oh my God. We'll be back with you in a couple of weeks.
Yes, and at some point soon we're going to announce what show we'll be covering now that we've finished Girls Aloud Off the Record.
Oh, that's true. Stick around for that. You're welcome.
Bye.
You are right up my street.
Oh, you can't make me choose.
I go by Toyota. Sponsors T4.
Fuck me, Lee Ryan's 13.
I remember we couldn't remember the word for table.